Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jasmine Thompson, Chair of the Portsmouth Division of the Hampton Roads Chamber. We work to be an impactful advocate, inspiring igniter, powerful economic partner, and regional collaborator. The Hampton Roads Chamber means business. We are continuing to expand our membership in Portsmouth and all of the 757. On behalf of the Portsmouth Division, I welcome you to the 2021 State of the City Address. I now call upon Hampton Roads Chamber President and CEO Brian Stevens to continue today's program.
Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate all that you're doing this year on behalf of the Hampton Roads Chamber and the business community, not just in Portsmouth, but throughout the region. We can't do anything in the chamber by ourselves. We're reliant upon volunteer leadership like Jasmine to help us to create a pro-business environment that we need here in Hampton Roads. As Jasmine said, my name is Brian Stevens, and it is my distinct honor to serve this region as the President and CEO of the Hampton Roads Chamber. The chamber, by the way, that is unapologetically pro-business. We come to work every day to try to ensure that businesses thrive here in Hampton Roads, and we have not stopped doing that during this pandemic. We never shut down, and we continue to work for you, the business community in Portsmouth and Hampton Roads. It is an honor for us to be here and to host this event today. And in order to get us started, can I ask those of you in the room to please stand and to honor our nation with the rendition of the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'd like to recognize musician third class Catherine Whitbeck of the U.S. Fleet Forces Command Band, who so beautifully sung that rendition of the National Anthem. We want to thank her for allowing us to use that at today's event. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to call upon Father Derek Harbin of St. John's Episcopal Church to deliver the blessing for today. Father.
Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, our refuge in every danger, to whom we turn in our distress. In this time of pandemic, look with compassion on the afflicted. Grant eternal rest to the dead, comfort to mourners, healing to the sick, peace to the dying, and strength to healthcare workers. Drive out misinformation, fear, indifference, or selfishness from the minds of our citizens, that all may seek vaccination and continue to follow health protocols for the common good, so that our nation, commonwealth, and community may be healed. I thank you for those men, women, teens, and children of all races and backgrounds, known to us and unknown, who strive daily to make Portsmouth a better place to live. Send down upon our mayor and those with authority in this city your spirit of wisdom, compassion, and justice, that in all their decisions they may push aside any partisanship, bias, or self-interest, to promote the health, well-being, and prosperity of all our citizens. Guide them to be the leaders your people need in this time and in this place. O Holy One, in this challenging time, we bless you for this food as we ask your presence in this gathering. Confident in your goodness and love, heal us, give us vision, and empower us to be faithful stewards for the future of our city. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that beautiful blessing, Father. Usually at this point in the program, I would easily introduce all of our attending elected officials. This is a hybrid event, as you know, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I'm going to try. So if I miss somebody, especially somebody that's with us virtually, I apologize. First of all, we have two visiting mayors here today. I'd like to recognize them. Mayor of the great city of Virginia Beach, Bobby Dyer, is with us. Mayor Dyer. And the mayor of the great city of Suffolk, Mike Newman's with us. Sitting at that table as well is one of those volunteers I was talking about, just an outstanding leader, the chairman of the board of the Hampton Roads Regional Board of Directors, Mr. Steve Romine. Steve, thank you for being here. We do have some elected and appointed officials with us present today. I'd like to recognize them. First of all, Vice Mayor DeAndre Barnes is here. And Council Member Christopher Woodard Jr. is here. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize and welcome the new city manager of the great city of Portsmouth. Angel Jones is with us. Angel, thank you. And also the deputy city manager, Lavoris Pace, is with us. Lavoris, thank you for being here. We do have some city council members who have registered and are watching us virtually today. I'd like to recognize them. Council member Paul Battle, Council member William Moody, Council member Dr. Mark Whitaker, and Council member Lisa Lucas Burke. Thank you very much for watching the program today and all that you do for the city council. As I always say at these events, we just couldn't put on events like this without the generosity of our sponsors. I am very honored to recognize our sponsors today. First of all, our presenting sponsor for the entire State of the City series here in the 757 Town Bank. I want to recognize Robin Cook, who's with us today, as well as Don Glenn. I saw her today, so thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do. I want to recognize our Platinum Series sponsors, Bon Secours Hampton Roads. Amy Carrier and Kate Brin is here with us. Amy, I know that you're watching. Thank you for your leadership throughout the region and all that you're doing for the Chamber and the business community. Dominion Energy is another Platinum Series sponsor, and we want to thank Ed Bain for his leadership. Building the Future sponsor, the Franklin Johnson Group, Taylor Franklin, thank you for your leadership throughout the region. We have several Silver Series sponsors I'd like to recognize. First of all, AB&B, Geico, Hampton Roads Workforce Council, Norfolk State University, Optima Health, and Verizon. We have a new sponsor this year. I'm very proud that they are a member of the Chamber and a sponsor, the Rivers Casino Portsmouth. Thank you so much for your bronze sponsorship this year. And of course, those individuals that always make us look and sound so good. The audiovisual sponsor today is Productive AV. I want to thank Juan and Chan for all that you did for this event today. You'll also find numerous virtual and program sponsors in your programs today. We have hard copy programs here, and those of you that are watching virtually, that program should have been sent to you digitally. So please, let's recognize all of our sponsors today with a round of applause. I mentioned our platinum sponsor is Bon Secours Hampton Roads. We have with us today the president of Bon Secours Maryview, Kate Brin, who's going to give us a few comments. Kate?
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kate Brand. I'm the president of Bon Secours Maryview Medical Center and our Harborview Medical Campus. Thank you to the City of Portsmouth and the Hampton Roads Chamber for including us in today's State of the City. And hello to our distinguished guests who have joined us both in person and remotely. As the program sponsor, it is my pleasure to be here and to share a few updates on the great work happening at Maryview Medical Center. For those of you who may not know, Maryview Medical Center has a deep history with the City of Portsmouth. We have faithfully served this community since 1945, over 75 years. Over the years, Bon Secours has made millions of dollars in strategic investments in technology and comprehensive medical treatment to allow us to better treat the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. As you know, 2020 was a challenging and frankly exhausting year for our community and world at large, especially for our hospital staff. This past year, we have had to pivot to meet the expanded needs of the Portsmouth and Western Hampton Roads communities due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. Our hospital's dedicated teams of providers and staff are driven by our mission to extend the compassionate ministry of Jesus by improving the health and well-being of our communities. I would be remiss not to recognize not only Maryview, but all Hampton Roads healthcare associates, providers, and medical staff for their compassion and commitment to serve our communities during this unprecedented year. Please join me in giving our local healthcare heroes a round of applause. The dedication of our Maryview team to safe, quality healthcare was confirmed by the Leapfrog Group, which awarded Maryview Medical Center with an A safety grade this past fall. This is a national distinction recognizing the hospital's achievements, protecting patients from harm, and providing safer healthcare. We are continuing to grow. Our current scope of programs including cardiovascular, orthopedics, spine, bariatrics. We currently have the only approved open heart program in Western Hampton Roads and are expanding cardiovascular clinical services by building a hybrid operating room, which is expected to be complete by the end of the year. The hybrid OR allows for utilization of the latest surgical techniques, decreasing recovery time and decreasing procedure time. It will improve access to cardiac surgery for the Western Hampton Roads patients. To better serve our patients, we've also recently opened a surgical unit dedicated to elective orthopedic and bariatric patients. In addition, our community health efforts in the Portsmouth community include partnering with the Bon Secours Caravan to administer nearly 1,500 COVID-19 vaccines to Portsmouth residents. And we remain committed to addressing housing disparities in the communities we serve. That's why we have supported and invested in several organizations working to provide affordable housing opportunities in Portsmouth. 2021 brings a new hope as vaccination efforts continue across the region and state. To all of our neighbors, patients, visitors, and community members who have supported us through this unprecedented year with thank you notes, meals, signs, kind words, thank you. I can assure you that at Maryview Medical Center, our values are always at the core of everything we do, and that each associate, provider, staff member, and patient who walks through our doors is and will continue to be treated with dignity, compassion, and the highest level of respect. We'd now like to leave you with a short video, shot prior to COVID, mask wearing, about the great work happening at Maryview. We continue to be a proud citizen of Portsmouth and look forward to continuing to bring good help to those in need, and hope that you continue to trust us for quality and compassionate health care. Thank you.
We are Good Help. Since 1945, we have healed, comforted, and improved the lives of our community. A lot has changed since we opened our doors, but the core of who we are remains the same. We are modern. We are an advanced community medical center with innovative technologies. Our facilities are renovated and offer state-of-the-art spaces for you to heal. When the clock is running down, who do you want on your team? You want the teammates who have the best skills. You want the teammates who thrive on pressure and use it as fuel to do the impossible. Here, you'll get the best care team for your individual needs. Because our goal is meeting your medical challenges and getting you back to health. We are different. We care about you, your body, your mind, your spirit, and your family. We are proud. We are privileged to serve this community. We know you are the center of someone's universe. Our talented team of physicians, nurses, and associates wake up every day to care for the universe of you. We are good help to those in need. We are Maryview Medical Center.
Yeah. Kate, thank you so much, and Amy, again, thank you for your leadership. As a small example of the collaboration and the mutual support of our municipalities, I received a text message just a few minutes ago from Mayor Rick West, who said he wanted to be here, but he's watching virtually, and he wanted to express his support to you, Mayor Glover, and good luck on today's event. So again, that's just a small example of the mutual support that we have among the leaders of our 17 municipalities here in Hampton Roads. We're truly blessed with the leadership of all those municipalities and the way that they cooperate. It is now my distinct pleasure to welcome to the podium Robin Cook. Robin is the President, Town Bank, Portsmouth and Suffolk, and she's going to deliver a few comments on behalf of Town Bank and then introduce our keynote speaker. Robin?
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to welcome you to this year's virtual Portsmouth State of the City address. Town Bank is honored to once again be the presenting sponsor for the series of the State of City addresses. For many years, businesses and community leaders from across Hampton Roads have come together for the State of the City meetings. Hopefully, with next year's event, we'll be able to have more than just the 50 people. We'll be back to our normal 300. This past year has been an incredibly challenging one for local businesses. I applaud the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce for stepping up to help in the midst of these unprecedented times. The Chamber's COVID response site and COVID recovery site were recognized as the model that all organizations should follow. The Chamber has also provided virtual education on everything from team bonding to diversity to mental wellness. Town Bank is honored to have helped local businesses through the SBA's Paycheck Protection Program. We were able to support 6,700 businesses with more than $1.2 billion of critical funds. We are currently participating with the second round of the PPP, which they recently extended to the end of May for applications. Since opening our doors in 1999, Town Bank has grown from just 3 offices to more than 40 offices today throughout Hampton Roads and Central Virginia, as well as Northeastern and Central North Carolina. Our continued commitment to serving others and enriching lives by providing local charitable organizations with scholarships, grants, and foundations. I'm proud to say that over the last 22 years, Town Bank and the Town Bank Foundation have contributed more than $76 million into the local communities that we serve. Now it's my honor to introduce Mayor Shannon Glover. Mayor Glover has been guiding our city of Portsmouth during a very challenging time, from virtual council meetings to vaccine distribution to planning when and how our schools will reopen. Mayor Glover and his team have worked tirelessly to make sure the citizens of Portsmouth stay safe. I look forward to hearing his first State of the City address outlining our city's accomplishments over this past year, as well as plans for future growth. Shannon Glover was elected Portsmouth Mayor in November of 2020 after serving on Portsmouth City Council for 2 years. Mayor Glover is a small business owner and understands the complexities of our city as well as the challenges of business ownership. He's lived in Portsmouth since 1990. Mayor Glover is a Norfolk State University graduate and served in the United States Navy from 1988 to 1994. He is also a graduate of the Naval School of Health Sciences. Mayor Glover sits on several local boards and has completed terms as president of various organizations, including Lufco Alumni Association, Churchland Rotary Club, and the Portsmouth Partnership. Mayor Glover is a member of the National Association of Health Underwriters, serving as Eastern Virginia Chapter Legislative Chairperson. He and his wife, Paula Rochella Meadows, are the parents of son Denzel and daughter Alana. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Shannon Glover.
Thank you, Robin. Well, what Robin didn't share with you is that we go a long way back. We attended a leadership development course sometime, and she was jokingly stating at the table that I was the head of the class. Actually, I just sat in front of the class. She was actually the head of the class. So it's good to see you again, Robin. Before we get started, I want to share with you all that Portsmouth is for people. All kinds of people. I want to welcome you all here this afternoon, and I want to share with you some of our Portsmouth story.
Our message today is very clear. That is to stay home.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Hampton Roads, and because we're part of the Hampton Roads, they're on the rise in Portsmouth.
You're either going to get a rebound or it might cycle into the next season.
And shared sacrifice, national determination, we will overcome the threat of the virus.
Resilient, adaptable, flexible, forward-focused, proud. The City of Portsmouth is proud of its citizens for rising up to the challenge of COVID-19. The City of Portsmouth is proud of its businesses for adapting, pivoting, and overcoming unprecedented conditions. The City of Portsmouth is proud of its staff's flexibility in delivering key and essential services throughout turbulent times. The City of Portsmouth is proud. The strength of our resolve was tested by the onset of COVID-19, and the City of Portsmouth swiftly took action and rose above the challenge. Our schools transitioned to online services and delivered meal programming. Every student was provided with a digital device, and hundreds of hotspots were given out. Our volunteer organizations continued to provide key supplemental services to the city and our region. Like many in the nation, our city faced social and racial justice issues. City Council, along with community leaders, worked to address these issues and open inclusive dialogue to move our city forward with integrity, diversity, and inclusion. Our leaders are continuing to address and plan for equity and accessibility in all aspects of our city. For the fourth year in a row, our economy recorded triple-digit growth. $435 million in total capital investment, including $391 million in brand new investment, and creating over 1,900 new jobs. Our city, along with our partners at the Port of Virginia, are preparing to host companies related to offshore wind. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, our retail and consumer services markets have grown. Our key industries of manufacturing and maritime services continue to expand. Portsmouth citizens are looking to the future of our tourism industry and are welcoming new opportunities for growth. 2020 will remain in our city's history as a challenging time due to COVID-19. But we'll remember the perseverance and resiliency of our citizens, our businesses, our city staff, and our community. With no small amount of Portsmouth pride, we know that there is no challenge that our city cannot overcome. 2021, the City of Portsmouth is headed in a bold, new direction.
Once again, welcome, and thank you for tuning into the 2021 Portsmouth State of the City event. As our cameras pan around the room, you can tell there's something different about this year's event because of the impact of COVID-19. Restrictions remain in place for large gatherings, but we're here all the same. I am elated to share with you the Portsmouth Story. 2020 will be a year that historians, politicians, epidemiologists, social scientists will analyze and theorize for decades to come. Our citizens are under a state of uncertainty that is unprecedented as we continue to deal with a global pandemic. In Portsmouth, the impact of COVID-19 taught us many lessons. We have learned that we are a flexible organization. When the governor's executive order was issued for Virginians to stay home and to close certain businesses and public places, Portsmouth city leaders reacted quickly to establish and maintain communications with residents and employees about necessary steps to keep everyone safe and to ensure that critical city services would continue. There were no disruptions in public works, utilities, and other deliverables. We learned to utilize existing resources in novel ways. For example, the city's technology department created a COVID-19 hub on the city's website. Access to credible information has been vital during the pandemic, and our COVID-19 hub provided users with the most current information on state statistics, infection rates, impacted geographic regions, and more. Inevitably, the city's website became an instrumental tool in communicating with the public and for delivering services. We learned that we are resilient. When City Hall, the schools, public libraries, museums, and recreation centers closed, we were able to shift the paradigm and continue engagement with our constituents online. City Council, Planning Commission meetings were conducted via Facebook and Microsoft Teams. Parks, Recreation, and Tourism actually developed exercise classes conducted virtually. Portsmouth kept moving forward, and we learned that despite COVID-19 shutdown, Portsmouth remains a powerhouse in its effort to attract and retain businesses, pique the interests of tourists, and to harness the power of volunteers and organizations. We must all work together to attract and retain businesses in Portsmouth. Portsmouth saw its fourth record-breaking year of economic investment despite the challenges of 2020. We continued the momentum. Portsmouth saw $435 million in total capital investment, comprised of $391 million in brand new investment and millions in reinvestment and improvement efforts by our local businesses. These projects equate to 1,900 new jobs in the city of Portsmouth. On November 3rd, 2020, Portsmouth citizens approved the Casino Gaming and Entertainment District referendum with an overwhelmingly two-thirds approval. Portsmouth is partnered with Rush Street Gaming to bring a premium 50-acre entertainment district to life. Rivers Casino Portsmouth will be located on Victory Boulevard in the heart of Portsmouth, with immediate access to 264 and quick travel to the full region and beyond. With an initial investment of $300 million and plans for a casino, hotel, entertainment pavilion, and space for 20 to 30 different eateries and shopping experiences, Portsmouth Entertainment District will have something for everyone to enjoy. Fairlead Integrated, a cornerstone of Hampton Roads maritime community, reinvested and expanded in Portsmouth during 2020. The organization has invested an additional $11 million in updating current facilities and is moving forward with approximately $12 million investment to redevelop the downtown North Pier facility and the waterfront. The update will add an additional 250 plus jobs. The Portsmouth Community Healthcare Center represents a $10 million investment and will support 75 jobs in the new 18,000 square foot facility that will serve the region as a healthcare hub with specific focus on the accessibility for the western side of Hampton Roads. The facility will play a large role in moving forward with COVID-19 care and eventual vaccine dissemination. Retail and restaurant development continued in the city despite pandemic challenges. The new Wawa in downtown broke ground and will be opening soon. The Churchland Starbucks location began construction and is highly anticipated. A third Starbucks is planned for Frederick Boulevard, along with a Chipotle, Zaxby's, and Green Clean Car Wash. Perhaps most notably, Columbia Care opened in late 2020. Columbia Care, one of 5 companies licensed by the Virginia Board of Pharmacy to operate a medical cannabis dispensary statewide, chose to locate in Portsmouth. Columbia Care is making an $8.6 million new investment in a 96,000 square feet facility and bringing 44 new jobs. In another emerging industry, Portsmouth is preparing for offshore wind and the adjacent industries that come with large development effort. The governor allocated $40 million to Portsmouth Marine Terminal for offshore wind-related improvements, making Portsmouth the true hub of the offshore wind market. Not only have we brought new organizations and investment to the city, we are proud of the collective effort to support existing businesses through the tough pandemic times. Over 100 businesses received a total of $957,000 in COVID-19 business recovery grants. A majority of the recipients had under 25 employees, and 30% went to SWAM certified businesses. The grant fund contributed to fixed business costs, including rent, utilities, and more to assist businesses in pivoted to constrained times. Looking to our current year, the business forecast looks strong. We are with emerging industries, a focus on diversity and inclusion, and increased efforts to build talent pathways for existing and future businesses. We know Portsmouth is the smart move for business. In Portsmouth, we remain committed to service and community improvement. We all must set a new bar for cooperation that brings faith-based, educational, civic, and business leaders back to the table so that we can build trust and mutually beneficial relationships. As you recall, the City of Portsmouth is constructing a community broadband network. Construction is nearly complete for state-of-the-art fiber optics project that will increase internet connectivity around the city. The community broadband network includes connections to community anchor institutions such as hospitals and higher education centers and will serve as a catalyst to narrow the digital divide. A $750,000 grant enables connectivity to be extended to all Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority campuses. The $9 million multi-phase capital project is on schedule and will be completed in July 2021. We are committed to providing educational support to our schools and providing wraparound services that promote healthy families. Despite closing our schools because of COVID-19, learning continued. Portsmouth Public Schools were able to provide every student with a digital device. The division also provided every child in need with Wi-Fi hotspots, all leading to a seamless transition to a 100% virtual learning environment during the pandemic. In March 2020, the division's Star-Based program celebrated accomplishments of its many STEM heroes. The organization raised more than $22,000 in net proceeds during its regional STEM Education Awards dinner. During the event, Star-Based Victory announced a new scholarship program. Organizers are finalizing the criteria for the scholarships and processes. The Portsmouth Public Schools Career and Technical Education Advisory Board was selected by the Virginia Department of Education as the Region 2 winner of the 2020 Creating Excellence Advisory Award. These awards are presented annually to recognize exemplary programs and partnerships that promote excellence in career and technical education. The Virginia Department of Education also awarded the division a $10,000 STEM competition team grant for support of its elementary schools for minorities in engineering, the Chrome Clubs. The division works in partnership with Norfolk State University to offer these projects and opportunities to elementary schools. Churchland High School was named the best school by U.S. News and World Report. U.S. News and World Report's 2020 Best High Schools ranked nearly 18,000 high schools nationwide. The highest ranked U.S. public schools were those whose attendees demonstrated outstanding outcomes, above expectations in math and reading, state assessments, passed a diverse array of college-level exams, and students graduated in high proportions. Portsmouth Public Schools received a $15,000 grant from Dominion Energy Charitable Foundation for their fabrication laboratory, or Fab Lab, in support of the division's new modeling and simulation pathway for students. The proposed pathway would include a series of courses phased into the Portsmouth Public School course of study starting in 2021 academic school year and be fully implemented by 2023-24. We will also work with the schools district on initiatives that promote mentorship, create summer jobs, and skills training. It is critically important that we begin training our students and adults for good jobs that are currently available and will be coming in the future. As households begin receiving invitations in the mail to participate in the 2020 census, the COVID-19 pandemic became a significant obstacle in those efforts. The pandemic forced us to temporarily cease all in-person field operations to ensure the safety of our employees and the public. The dedicated efforts of the City Council-appointed Complete Count Commission, including section of 16 citizens and city staff liaisons with assistance from numerous city departments, resulted in creative ways to meet the challenges of completing a unique enumeration. We look forward to receiving the federal funding based on the final census count to continue serving the citizens of Portsmouth in impactful ways. The City of Portsmouth launched a 2-month police recruitment campaign last fall with the goal of identifying and recruiting candidates to become members of the Portsmouth Police Department. The campaign used a combination of advertising via television, radio, print, and digital, including social media and geofencing, targeting local colleges and universities offering academic studies in criminal justice. Portsmouth Police Department recruitment messages were seen by diverse audiences across Hampton Roads, the Commonwealth, and the nation. Various churches, social organizations, including Wesley Community Center, Oasis Social Ministry, the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia, the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, and many other groups teamed up to ensure that families facing food insecurities were fed and were supplied with personal protection equipment. We are so grateful for those efforts. In an effort to enhance the city's image, increase citizen participation, promote Portsmouth businesses, create citizen ambassadors and advocates to strengthen community pride, we launched Portsmouth Proud. Portsmouth residents, business leaders, and community newsmakers were interviewed in short segments discussing what they love about the city of Portsmouth. Respondents identified key topics that inspired their love for the city, including Portsmouth's commitment to public education, a sense of community, and a pride in the city's history. Portsmouth has a long history and a relationship with our military neighbors. We continued the connection to our military partners during the pandemic. The Portsmouth City Council recently signed a mutual aid agreement between the City of Portsmouth's Department of Fire, Rescue, and Emergency Services and the Navy Region Mid-Atlantic for firefighting services. We also have a partnership for mosquito control with the Army Corps of Engineers, which includes an Air Force unit out of Youngstown, Ohio. Naval Medical Center Portsmouth, the oldest continuously operating military hospital in the country, opened a traumatic brain injury services department last month. Upon the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccination in December 2020, The Naval Medical Center's immunizations clinic worked nonstop to give all eligible staff, operational forces, and beneficiaries a chance to get the vaccine. The Norfolk Naval Shipyard, one of the largest shipyards in the world, ensured that its workforce was informed about COVID protocols and continued the service to the fleet by repairing, overhauling, and modernizing ships and submarines throughout the pandemic. And the U.S. Coast Guard, all through the pandemic last year, continued to monitor our waters and provide protection for the country's economic, national, and border security. Its motto, Semper Paratus, means always ready. We have learned so much about ourselves as a community. Historically, Portsmouth has faced several public health outbreaks, including cholera pandemic, the yellow fever epidemic, the Spanish flu, SARS, and COVID. Through it all, Portsmouth remained solid. Emergency operations and management plans were tested and implemented to keep the public safe. We continue to deliver critical services. City agencies, public schools, churches, grassroots organizations, and nonprofits work together to make sure the city's most vulnerable residents were taken care of. Portsmouth continued to provide assistance to local restaurants and other businesses. Federal funds were made available for businesses and residents who fell behind on utility bills. And with the help of the Virginia Department of Health and the Virginia Department of Emergency Management, our residents are being vaccinated against COVID-19 at record rates. Portsmouth not only survived the pandemic, Portsmouth thrived. City businesses continued, not in the same way, but in innovative ways. We proved our flexibility in every city operation. Portsmouth used its existing resources in new ways to keep the public informed, to continue learning and citizen engagement. We are resilient and stronger. And through it all, we remained attractive to businesses, tourists, and garnered the power of volunteers. Going forward, I have many reasons to be optimistic about our future. I am excited about leading our city and my council colleagues in a bold new direction to reclaim, reconnect, and recommit to our progress in Portsmouth. Take a moment to look at the second part of our story, will you? Thank you.
Portsmouth, like the rest of the Commonwealth, nation, and the world, endured the cyclone of the COVID-19 pandemic and rolled with each and every punch. After Governor Ralph Northam issued a stay-at-home order for Virginians in March 2020, Portsmouth closed its public buildings including City Hall, libraries, schools, recreation centers, and museums. With City Hall being closed to the public, City Council meetings went virtual and were shown via the city's website, YouTube, and Facebook. And city business continues. Citizens and businesses needing to pay bills or engage with the city simply connected to us via online. Critical city services, including emergency, fire, police, public works, and utilities experienced no disruptions. Major city projects, including work on the Churchland Bridge replacement construction and work on the next phase of the Portsmouth Seawall project, made significant progress through 2020. When concert season returns, Portsmouth will be ready. Major improvements were made to the Atlantic Union Bank Pavilion, including the canopy, stage, and seating, among other areas. To help keep Portsmouth residents active and fit, Parks, Recreation, and Tourism kept city green spaces beautiful. Middle Street Park received upgrades, and beautification projects were completed at Friendship Garden at Portsmouth City Park and Reflections Walk in Port Norfolk. Portsmouth Public Schools continued to thrive and turned on a dime to deliver instruction and ensure students were fed after the schools were closed. The Schools Division and Parks, Recreation, and Tourism distributed breakfast and lunch to thousands of school children impacted by the closure. The School Division provided every student a digital device and ensured access to Wi-Fi hotspots for children in need. Conducting the decennial census presents challenges in any decade. Portsmouth Complete Count Commission launched a regional advertising campaign promoting the importance of the census and the convenience of participating. The city's efforts paid off. The campaign reached historically low responding neighborhoods across the city, and Portsmouth reaped a 66% response rate. To keep residents engaged, the city's libraries and museums created specialized educational programs and services designed to be delivered online. Each library branch offered curbside pickup service so that patrons could still check out materials and find resources for distance learning. And city business continued. Portsmouth restaurants, retail stores, and grocers all fared well during the pandemic, all adapting quickly to a new paradigm. Throughout the year, we continued to care for one another as churches, nonprofits, and social organizations staged food, personal protection equipment, and meal giveaways. And assistance became available for residents and businesses impacted by COVID-19 for their unpaid utility bill balances under the Federal Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act. Portsmouth has persevered through this pandemic and has grown stronger. In our fight to battle the coronavirus, last month, a community vaccination clinic was opened in the city. The CVC greatly expanded our COVID-19 vaccination efforts in Portsmouth. More than half of the at-risk population have now been vaccinated. We have created new partnerships, networks, and business opportunities on the local, state, and federal levels that will forge the city's path in bold, new directions.
I want to take this opportunity to thank and salute all of our heroes serving on the front lines during the COVID-19 pandemic, including fire, police, EMTs, medical professionals, and all of our public servants working to keep everyone safe. Thank you, stay healthy, and be safe. Enjoy your day.